Hello, everyone. Welcome to the launch week grand finale live stream.
Here we go.
Here we go. I hope
Very excited.
super excited. I hope everyone's had a great launch week so far. It's been very hectic on our end. How are you feeling?
Like it's always from the outside, it looks like steady. Internally, it's like we need to make sure everything actually works.
Yeah,
It's always fun. I feel like it gives you a lot of focus and clarity. I'm like, okay, well, this is going out tomorrow. Better make sure it's ready.
oh, so you're saying it wasn't ready until the day before? It's cutting it very close. We would never do that.
Sometimes it's an art and a science. You don't want to announce features that have been live for weeks, right?
Yeah, keep it tight. I hope you've all had a chance to follow along and check out some of the new launches. Otherwise, we'll do a recap in a minute. But before we kick off, as always, you can use the chat to write questions and do shout outs, and we can bring those on screen and talk about all the things you want to know about. So let us know what you're thinking and your questions in the chat. We'll take it from there. But let's dig in and let's start with a recap of the week so far. It's been 4 days of launches, and today we're closing out this launch week with another fifth release. But we started way back on Monday with Leap 2.0. Huge big updates, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything from just fully fledged agent mode to Sonnet 4.5 to a bunch of improvements to tool use and much more. I feel like it addresses a lot of the sort of feedback we've gotten from the community over the last couple of months in terms of how can we projects grow, how can we make sure that Leap is still super productive. Leap 2.0 supports, up to 10x larger projects using fewer tokens and credits, but just all in the name of making it even faster and easier to build large real world applications.
Yeah, hopefully people have had a chance to try it out and see a big difference. Your feedback is always welcome. You can join the Discord to let us know what you think. And then day 2, Tuesday, we launched Database Explorer.
I mean, the name speaks for itself. We heard you loud and clear. Sometimes, especially, Leap makes it so easy to build, applications with data and databases, activity. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to understand, like, what data exists? How does this work? Sometimes you want to tweak something, but you don't want to ask the agent to do it for you. So now you can just go into the database yourself and look at the data and modify it or add new data. It's super powerful. Really helps, make it more of a power tool than something that you just use for fun.
Yeah. And we might do a quick demo of this later in the stream for people who missed it. We can walk through some of these new features.
Yeah. We should say on the Database Explorer, it's also live for all Encore applications.
Oh yeah.
This is
So if
part of the launch week where we actually both build new features for Leap and same features for Encore.
I
If
mean,
you're using Encore,
if you don't know what Anchor is, maybe we should talk a bit about that. It's basically what's underpinning Leap and what's enabling Leap to do all the things it's able to do.
yeah, true. Encore is a backend framework. It supports both TypeScript and Go, and it's great for building everything from startups to large-scale distributed systems for enterprises. It's something that we've been working on for close to 5-6 years by now, and has a huge amount of companies using it from all over the world in every single industry. And what is unique about it is, as you mentioned, it sort of integrates infrastructure concepts directly into the code base. That is what enables Leap. Leap is building on top of it to be even better at sort of leveraging infrastructure when it's generating code.
Yeah, so that's why it's not tied to a backend as a service platform like Supabase, and instead it actually runs its own infrastructure and lets you deploy using your own infrastructure, because the code is what's controlling all of that. So Encore can help set that up for your application. Yeah. And then day 3, we launched a Clerk integration. I thought Leap already was able to use Clerk. So what actually changed on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, Clerk is definitely something that you could already do with Leap. You can do most things with Leap. And so what is new about this launch is really that it's fully integrated into Leap itself. You can ask Leap to add it, and Leap will automatically set up a Clerk application, and even give you a users tab where you can see all of the users that have logged into your application. So it's much more seamless, works out of the box. We've gone through and really polished the experience, provide custom instructions for Leap to be able to do an even better job of integrating it. So just in the matter of making it super seamless in how you can get going with authentication super easily.
Yeah, hopefully that makes it a lot easier for everyone there who wants to add login and user auth to their apps. We're still making it better every single day. So if you have questions or feedback on it, like, please let us know in the Discord, and we're going to keep making it even better. And then yesterday we launched Target or targeting, which is a neat little feature that lets you sort of select an element in the preview and send the prompt directly at that element. We hope this makes it a lot easier to make quick UI changes and basically make it easier for you to tell Leap what specific item you want to change. So you have to spend less time typing, and you can just point and click. So do check that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And now day 5, what we're all here for, the new launch of the day, the final launch of the week, the grand finale of this launch week. And we're dropping debug mode.
Boom.
Yeah, we need a soundboard with sound effects. But instead of doing that, why don't we just show you what it is? That should be a lot more fun. Let's see if we can get that going. Here we go.
We're looking at it. Exciting. Yeah, so like we've heard loud and clear from the community, what's so powerful about Leap is the ability to really build, large scale, real world applications. And what that means is you want to be able to, move quickly, ship real features, and not get stuck in a loop with AI where you're like trying to figure out like, oh, this doesn't work. How do I make it work? And we felt that one of the most impactful things that we can do from our side is make the AI even better at sort of assisting you in debugging issues. And so over the last couple of months, we've been building out this functionality. It's still going to be improved as we go on, but what it basically means is we've exposed a lot of different tools for the agent to be able to make use of, and then we've designed custom flows that sort of help the agent debug issues very systematically. And in our internal testing, we found that it's super good at sort of finding and fixing all kinds of issues. This hopefully helps people who feel like they're getting stuck and not making forward progress without feeling like, oh, I have to start over or I have to just keep hitting my head against the wall. Debug mode is for you. So what we're looking at here is a very simple application. This actually demonstrates some of the clerk authentication that we've done. So I just set this up a few minutes ago. And other things we've done is we've just improved on the project generation as a bit of an Easter egg. You get this nice sort of breakdown on how the project has been built. And now this application is ready. So if I head over here, this is a end-to-end sort of management application where you have everything from, clerk authentication to Polar for payments. And let's see if we can log in. I'm gonna click through here. I will get logged in. And now we can see that here we're actually getting an error message. This is great because this allows me to demonstrate that sometimes things don't always work as you want with AI. If you look here in the bottom left, we can see here that we have this new debug mode. And so what I can do is I can turn that on. And then I can say, after I log in, I'm not getting the dashboard view. Instead, the error logs say invalid message, origin, or structure. And so now you can see that as I'm typing this, we also have as an Easter egg the sort of prompt quality meter. So this will help you actually, as you're typing and prompting the AI, it will help you give a sense for like, okay, is this prompt actually going to be useful, or should I break it down into smaller pieces? Is there more information that should be provided, and things like that. So this is also always helpful to take a look at when you're prompting so that you're getting the most out of every prompt. So anyway, we're going to turn this on and we're going to hit send. You can see that as soon as I hit send, the debug mode turns off because it's something you should use very deliberately, not just every single time. But now you can see that it will go into a very sort of structured, debugging process where it will do a lot of thinking. It will sort of break down the issue. It will use a browser to navigate to the page, take screenshots, do more thinking. It can read the logs from the browser. It can do more thinking. And really just in a very comprehensive way, try to figure out like, okay, what is the issue that's going on here? What can we do to fix it? So we'll try different approaches to try to reproduce the issue. And I know from past experience, like this is a particularly tricky issue for it to resolve. So we'll see how it goes, but it's a good test. So now that it's tried to reproduce it successfully, it will now try to actually do something about it. So now it's trying to diagnose, like, okay, how do I actually fix this thing? Now it's moving on to actually implementing a fix. And making edits, more edits. It's hopefully you can see that this is a much more structured workflow than what you typically get if you just say, hey, fix this issue. It will be much more successful at, addressing issues that are trickier to to figure out. Now it's deploying to the preview environment, and this is actually happening as part of the workflow now, which means that as soon as this completes, look, I'm now logged in.
There
It's
you go.
actually successfully found and fixed the issue on the very first try. And now it's using the browser again. It's verifying that it's getting the login screen. The fix is working. We'll just do another sort of double checking that it's still working as expected.
Yeah, so this workflow that it's using is basically modeled after how a developer would do it, right? So it's giving it a structured approach to identify the issue, solve the issue, test if the fix actually worked, verify that, and then try again if need be.
Yeah.
So the end result is you as a user of Leap, you don't need to know as much about how you would go about that. So the debugging process is more controlled by Leap itself, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's really the key here is if you have been working with, if you're a developer yourself, you would recognize these. The key to successful debugging is, exactly these 4 steps is first want to reproduce the issue so that you can verify that you are seeing the same thing. Then you want to figure out the root cause so that you can actually have an idea of how to fix it. And then you actually implement the fix. And then you verify that the thing you were doing before to reproduce it is now been addressed and you are now seeing the correct result. So this is exactly how a developer would approach debugging an issue like this. We can now see that, demo the Leap debugger to the world. Mark that as done.
Fantastic. And then I see another new button next to the debug button. What's going on there?
Yeah. So as part of that, you can see here in the debugger, when we were doing the debugging, that it's doing a lot of thinking. And this is because that's how it gets much more powerful and able to reason through problems much more effectively, besides the structured approach. And we've also added the ability to sort of opt into that anytime you want, not only for debugging. If you click here, you can see that the default mode is sort of the thinking mode, which is standard AI processing. It does plenty of thinking, but it's still sort of trying to balance how many credits are consumed with what amount of quality do we get out of it. If you want to, if you're doing something that is a more complex task, or it requires more analysis, or maybe planning and breaking down the task into steps, you can turn on Galaxy Brain mode. And what this means is it will spend more time thinking it's working, and it will use more credits, but in return, you get a higher quality result, particularly when you're dealing with more complex tasks. If you want, you can keep this on all the time, or you can sort of turn it on and off depending on the task.
And can you tell or give any guidance on like how many more credits does it actually use?
It depends a lot on what it is that you're doing. If I ask, just to demonstrate, if I ask, what's the meaning of life without thinking mode, we'll see this will do some thinking, and it will just say 42. If I turn this on, I expect we'll get a much more sort of detailed thinking trace that's really trying to process. Who knows with AI? It might just come back with 42 without thinking. Here you go. Here you can see that it's spending more time reasoning than if I just ask it without thinking mode. And this does not consume a lot more tokens. This is very minuscule. Whereas if I ask it to say, this isn't working, debug it for me, not using debug mode here, which is what you should be doing. But just to illustrate, you can see that this will actually use quite a bit more tokens. So anywhere from about 5% more to maybe 50% more tokens, depending on how complex it is. There are no actually. We shouldn't continue with this. It's just going to be confusing itself.
Cool. I hope everyone checks that out and gets a lot of value from it, and it should make it a lot easier to handle more complex issues. But we talked about demoing the Database Explorer as well that we launched on Tuesday, right?
Yeah. So you can see here, if you go to the infrastructure page, you can see that there is now a new button here, Database Explorer. You can press that, or you can just press the database name directly. So I'm going to do that. We'll jump straight into the database. And here we can see that we have a couple of tables. We have the to-do table. And here we can see the demo of the Leap debugger. It add a description here like, it's so cool. And press save changes. And if I now go back to the preview, oh, interesting. Felt the fat.
Maybe when you were tricking the AI, it actually broke something.
That's very interesting. Let's try to. So now you can see actually that when I press attempt fix, it will actually turn on the bug mode for me. You can turn that off if you want to, but for most issues, it can be quite helpful. Anyway.
And can you combine Galaxy Brain with debug mode or no?
You can. It actually doesn't matter. When you use debug mode, it automatically turns on extended reasoning as well. So there's no need to turn Galaxy Brain mode on for the debugger to reason. They accomplish the same thing in that case. Anyway, while we wait and see if this can be resolved, we can see that we also have a user subscription. We're on the free tier. Here we would track the Polar customer ID and the subscription ID, webhook events. So you can even add more data here. The Database Explorer. Maybe if we get Task View to work. Yeah, it's already fixed the issue, I think.
So can you then go back and see what the diagnosis was? race condition. Classic.
I guess that would actually explain it, because I think we loaded this before the fix had been deployed. So I think the analysis is actually correct, and the race condition is still there, but this time we got lucky. But now it's actually made an actual fix. So yeah, that's it.
There we go. Awesome. We have a question from Petter in the audience about the target feature. So he started using Leap earlier this week, and he's been using it all along. Was it live earlier than the launch yesterday? Yeah, for some users, before we launch something, we sort of roll it out to a smaller group to make sure it works as expected. So we can fix any issues before we roll it out broadly. So you're probably just in that group, lucky you. And it seems like you like it, so good for you. And thanks for the feedback. If you run into anything, this goes for everyone, do let us know on Discord. So you can join leap.news/Discord. Cool. I think that's everything we got. Or do you want to do a demo of the target feature?
I could, so you can press target here, and then you can say generate a much cooler logo.
That's very subjective.
Much cooler. That's true. Cooler. Let's see what the prompt quality.
Describe what
what's
cooler
cool.
means to you. Yeah, there you go. It works.
I mean,
Let's,
I don't think it deserves a 1 out of 10. It is maybe
the
too strict.
computer says you didn't do better than that. So better like next time. But let's see what it comes up with. So with this, it's actually generating a logo, right? Or is it?
I think now it did not generate a logo.
Oh, so it looked for something. Oh, there we go. It just wrote some
SVG,
tailwind.
Yeah.
SVG. But I mean, I would say that's actually a cooler logo, so it did work.
That's true.
Alrighty. I think that's the show we have today, right?
Yeah.
So it's been 5 days packed with launches, all from Leap 2.0 to Database Explorer to the Clerk integration for simpler authentication to the target feature, and now debug mode and the Galaxy Brain today. Really hope everyone's had some fun trying out these new features, and hope you get a lot of benefit from using them. We're doing new things every day to try and make Leap and the underlying Encore platform and framework as good as it can be. So keep sending us your feedback and bug reports, and we'll make it better every single day. And don't forget, launch week will return with more cool things at some point. Stay tuned, and if you don't already, follow us on Twitter. That's where we post a lot of our updates on an ongoing basis. You don't have to wait until the next launch week to get some new stuff for us. So check out that. Our handle's leap.new. And yes, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun. And have an awesome weekend, and hope you play with Leap.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
See you. Bye.